Hinahanda na ng QCPD Criminal Investigation Unit ang kasong parricide o pagpatay sa sariling asawa laban kay Orlando Estrella. Kahapon ay naiulat sa Barangay Holy Spirit, Quezon City ang kalunos-lunos na pagkatay ni Orlando sa asawa nitong si Heidi Estrella. Nang iharap naman sa mamamahayag ni QCPD Director Superintendent Guillermo Elazar, ang suspect ay hindi niya na pinagsisisihan ang ginawang pagpatay sa kanyang asawa dahil nakikipagtalik raw ito kay Satanas. Anya, upang wala raw si Satanas sa katawan ng kanyang misis, nagdesisyon siya na katayin ito at paghiwa-hiwalayin ang katawan kaysa raw makapangbiktima na ibang tao si Satanas. Samantala, sinabi ni Elazar na nagnegatibo sa droga ang suspect, pero nakadakdang itong dalhin sa isang espesyalistang doktor upang suriin ang pag-iisip upang malaman kung nagkaroon ito ng diferensya sa utak kung kaya't napatay niya ang kanyang sariling asawa.
We objected to the statements of the High Commissioner for Human Rights that the President should undergo a psychiatric evaluation. Is this going to affect our willingness or our openness to a rapporteur to conduct a fact-finding inquiry in the country?
I think we have made our position clear on the matter of special rapporteurs. We welcome special rapporteurs provided they be impartial, neutral, and willing to investigate rather than those already having conclusions and wanting to justify them through an investigation. I think the matter of the statement made by the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights is being treated very seriously. It's being treated as a diplomatic affront. It's wholly unacceptable. And until now, I'm restraining myself from using similar language. I can assure the good High Commissioner I'm better at using names. Yes, please.
So, sir, to be clear, we won't be using his comments as an excuse or a reason to stop a rapporteur from coming to the country.
Well, the comments are wholly unacceptable. I would say that for now, there are already communications ongoing between no less than the UN Secretary General and the Secretary of Foreign Affairs. No? Let's just say that that kind of a comment is not conducive to having further investigations in the Philippines by any special rapporteur. But as I said, the communications are ongoing. Let's see what happens.
So, are you saying there's a possibility that we might stop an investigation because of the comments?
No, I'm just saying that it did not come at an appropriate time.
Okay, follow up, Pia Gutierrez.
Sir, on the palace's objection to the remarks of the UN official, why is language suddenly important for an administration that tolerates the remarks of President Duterte? Basically, it's yung language or remarks of President Duterte is, kung tutusin natin, is more controversial, like his remarks on shooting NPA fighters in the genitals.
Because in the UN system, sovereignty is important and sovereign heads are still respected.
But President Duterte has called former US President Barack Obama as a son of a bitch.
That's a former president, not a sitting president.
But his remarks, sir, was made when President Obama was still sitting as US President.
That's correct, but he was not UN Secretary General. He is serving as UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, which is still an international organization composed of states. And heads of states are not accorded that kind of a language.
So, sir, what is the difference between a UN official and a president of a country, sir?
Well, because the UN officials should, as a matter of course, respect sitting heads of states, because after all, the UN is composed, as an international organization, is composed of sovereign states, and the sovereign states, of course, are represented by their respective leaders. And of course, I've said already over the weekend that we especially take offense because President is a democratically elected leader of this nation.
So basically, sir, you're saying that we excuse the language of the president, but not a
No,
UN
there's a word
official.
of a difference between a UN official using crude language against a sitting head of state and the president using any kind of language that he wants on a private individual, especially in this instance when the person using the crude language is himself without a democratic mandate.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, Ace Romero.
Secretary, how about the President's remarks over the weekend that he would throw the human rights experts to crocodiles? Is it serious, or it's just one of those controversial statements?
It's an appropriate response to a remark that, as I said, should not have been made by a sitting UN High Commissioner for Human Rights.
Appropriate remark,
It's an appropriate response.
but will he do it? I mean, if
I don't think he's in a position to do it. Come on.
Okay.
They're
So-
not even being allowed in to investigate. There will be no occasion to push them to the crocodiles.
Okay. Thank you, Secretary.
Sir, just a reaction to the position of the Chief Justice Sereno early this morning not to resign and not to bow down to the calls of her resignation.
Gosh, it's up to her. We've
And-
left the decision to her. No one can force her to resign if she doesn't want. However, I think the sentiment even of the lower court judges have been made known, and we can only hope that the Chief Justice will take all these sentiments into consideration. But the decision to remain is hers to be made.
Sir, but precisely, aren't you concerned that there will be an effect to the delivery of justice now that the Philippine Judges Association aired their grievance or their position calling her to resign?
That's for her to consider. The Supreme Court is a collegial body, and there's 14 other justices.
Thank you, sir.
Follow-up question? Other issue? A follow-up? Pia.
Sir, this morning, the employees of the Supreme Court has asked CJ Sereno to resign. So what does the palace think of that, sir? And what do you think her unpopularity among her peers, does it have anything to say about her capacity to lead the judiciary?
Well, as I said earlier, the decision to resign is one to be made by the Chief Justice alone. And at most, what we are going to say is that we hope that she takes into consideration the sentiments of everyone, all the stakeholders. So far, her colleagues have asked her to go on indefinite leave, and the lower court judges have asked her to resign. We can only ask her to consider all these calls from various stakeholders within the courts itself.
Sir, the consultative committee tasked to review the 1987 Constitution has recommended to regulate the political dynasties instead of banning them. Does the palace support this, and why?
Well, I think the sentiment of the president itself is he doesn't consider political dynasties as bad per se. He has said that sometimes they can lead to good results, but we respect and defer to the wisdom of the consultative commission, and we hope that Congress will consider this particular recommendation.
Hi, sir. Sir, may update na po pa dun sa decision sa Boracay. Is it true that the option to close down the island is no longer being considered?
Well, there was supposed to be a meeting today, but I understand they had it earlier last Friday because Secretary Simatu was not available today. And I understand there will be another meeting this week with Architect Jun Palafox. So no decision has been made by at least the 3 Secretaries of Justice because there's a second round of meeting to be held this week.
MPC, questions? Ian, follow-up? Other issue?
What did you do again to Joseph Morong?
Follow-up muna tayo with... Follow-up muna. Celerina? Thank you, Ian.
Good afternoon, sir. So regarding the President's statement before that he will declare a state of calamity in Boracay, meron na bang any proclamation or what?
No proclamation yet.
When can we expect that proclamation?
I can't say, but I will inform you if one has been issued.
Okay, thank you,
I
Ian.
understand that no less than the municipality of Malay is also considering the possibility of a similar declaration of a state of calamity because under the law, the local government unit or the national government can declare such a declaration. No?
Okay,
Secretary,
Ian.
good afternoon. Napirmahan po ni Presidente yung isang law granting subpoena powers to PNP. May mga other sectors na nagsasabi baka daw ma-abuse ito ng PNP.
Well, like all laws, it can be abused, but the objective of the law is to bolster the investigation capability of the PNP And I highlight to add 2 points. Number one, not all policemen can issue subpoenas. Only the chief PNP, the CIDG chief, and the deputy. Number two, breach of the subpoena will not give the police any authority to detain anyone. It will only be a cause of action for indirect contempt. They have to go to court, file a petition for indirect contempt before they can apprehend anyone for failure to comply with the subpoena. So under this circumstance, I think the possibility of abuse will be minimized, if not remote.
Questions?
Another topic, sir.
Okay.
Sir, na-reappoint yung kasi ni Ma'am Hanilet sa HADC, you know? Does that mean, sir, na yung ibang natanggal pwede ring maibalik, and may policy na ba tayo tungkol doon?
Appointment, of course, is a purely executive prerogative, no? So no one can question the inherent power of the president to appoint anyone.